Well, good evening, everybody. This is Cynthia Sauer, and I am currently a presidential director with LifeWave. And I'm so grateful that all of you are here tonight, and I'm excited as well. Um, in tonight's theme for this Tuesday night testimonial call is going to be about the word caring. And I'm going to kick off this little meeting with the fact that somebody cared about you in order to bring you to this call this evening, because we're going to share very openly and very honestly and organically about this little LifeWave X39 patch. What is it? Well, it's a size of a quarter, and you wear it right on the base of your neck or under your belly button for 12 hours, and then you take it off and put a new one on the next day. And what does it do? Well, it elevates a GHK copper peptide, which was the work of Dr. Lauren Picard. You can go look that up if you want to. He was a doctor that was working on the GHK copper peptide, and David Schmidt decided that he was going to figure out a way to invent a patch that would elevate this peptide, which in turn does reactivate your stem cells, your own. Nothing in the patch, it's only light reflected from your body. And so without further ado, we are going to go to our very first guest. Now, if you are scrambling around right now thinking, gosh, I wish I had someone else on this call, you're going to want to dial the phone up right now and go call the people that you care about, because we have three amazing result testimonials from the patch by three different individuals, and they're concerning, like I mentioned earlier, the heart, bones, and neuropathy. And so I said it was going to be about caring. Terry Beatley cared about me and told me about the patches, and I've had a life-changing experience with them. And now we host these calls, and maybe one day we'll see you on the call telling us what happened to you. So let's move on over to Chris. If you could pin what says Linda Palmer, because it's actually Dean right there, and we'll bring him on. Hi, Dean. How you doing? Can you bring him in, Chris? Okay. So just give us a minute. What's under Linda Palmer, honey? He's on Linda's computer.
There we go. That should be it.
Okay. There we
Yeah.
go. All right. So, Dean, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic tonight because I'm wearing X39 and X49 every day, and it's improved my life just fabulously.
So let's
Um,
start at the beginning. How
okay.
did this all come about? Um, you know, who told you, and where are you coming from tonight?
Well, do you want me to start with X39 or you want me to start with my problems?
Well, you can start wherever you'd like, actually.
Okay, well, many years ago, this is not a never-ending story, but many years ago when I was a teenager, I was in a almost near fatal vehicle crash that left me in the hospital for many weeks and I had to have future surgeries. I did so, and I think some of the things that they gave me created some nerve problems, and I developed what's called peripheral neuropathy.
Mm.
And what happens when you go through something like this, it's like dominoes falling one after another, after another, after another. And the trick is to try to get them to stop, but mine didn't stop for a long time. I had neuropathy for 24 years. I developed no feeling in my feet except for the nerve pain that comes from neuropathy, which is on a scale of 0 to 10. I told Mike Hernandez it was like a 50 on that scale, just way over the top, and never any relief from it for 24 years. And my wife, Linda, sweetheart as she is, she got me started on the patches back in 1st of February in 24. And within like 2 months, all of my neuropathy pain, which had been off the scale, disappeared, and it hasn't been back once. And now
Wow.
people get confused about how can your feet be numb and you still have pain. Well, there's different kinds of pain, as I found out, and I broke several bones in my feet. Couldn't get them healed for 7 years. I was working hard to try to solve that with doctors. And when I got married to Linda, I had the problem, and I told her that I could feel my bones shifting in my feet, but there was no pain. So we went to a new podiatrist, and he said, "Well, we're going to start with some X-rays to see where we're at." Started that way, and he came into the room, and it was one of those moments. I don't think my wife really understood what I was dealing with. And he brought the X-ray in. And he said, "Well, let's see what we got." And he took the X-ray and put it up on the light. And the first thing he did is he looked at it and covered his eyes and said, "Oh my God, how do you deal with this? This is horrible. Uh, can you feel any of this?" And I said, "Well, I just feel neuropathy pain. I don't feel the bones, but I said I can feel them moving." Within about 2 months or so after that, my neuropathy pain left after I had been using the X39 patch every day. It's been gone now for 16 months. I am relieved, and if I got no other effect from the patches, I would yell and scream hallelujah from this one, and I'll keep wearing it the rest of my life, because if you've not had neuropathy pain, you don't know what you're missing out on. It's not fun. And but anyway, I had Linda got to see the X-ray of the bones broken and all that, and he said, "How do you walk on this? You would be down on the floor screaming if you could feel it." And I said, "Well, I don't. I can tell it's shifting. I can feel the motion shifting, but no pain." So forward now to the beginning of 2025, I've been wearing X39 and X49, and you can see right here, there's on the left, there's the before and then the one after. But I went into the doctor's office to get an X-ray. I wanted to see how it's doing, and he took the X-ray, and I looked at it and immediately could identify the 10 breaks that I knew about and could see in the first um, slide on the left. They were gone in the second slide, and the one that I
So
just,
can you see my cursor pointing here or no?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right in there, and then across the top. Now, if you go to the second slide that I prepared, there's some arrows on there that show the
Oh,
breaks.
do you have this next one, honey?
There you go, right there. You can see a lot better there that the bones break where they're broken, and a lot of people call these stress fractures. They start as stress fractures, and the doctors say that they don't show up for the first 9 months, and then they start showing up on an X-ray. But my feet were swelling. I was doing damage to my feet. I had to go to a new doctor. I spent 7 years using devices, knee rollers, uh, a thing called a crow walker that they built especially for me. And I told the doctor I wore it one time, and I said, "I'll do anything it takes to never wear this again." And
What was it that you were wearing?
it's called a crow walker.
Oh, Trode Walker.
It's
Okay.
a special boot that goes all the way up to the top of your knee,
Hmm.
and it fits your skin, toes, foot, every place, skin tight. And you can't breathe, and it feels like you're stuck in something that you just can't get out of, and it's horrible. People have to wear these sometimes. I had that. I had a knee roller I used for 2.5 years. I speak at God and Country rallies. I had to preach a couple of times from that knee roller at events, and it was very made you feel very self-conscious to do that, at least me, because I like to walk around and get the audience engaged in what I'm doing, and so it just it was just nerve-wracking. Well, anyway, when I went in last week or a week and a half ago, I had the x-ray made and I'd seen it. The doctor hadn't seen it yet. And he came into the room and the nurse actually helped me. She helped me get these pictures because the pictures that were on the computer were not good, but she took these for me. She said, I want you to see this. I can see the breaks that were and now they're not. But
Hmm.
he came in and said, how's your feet doing now after all this? And I said, well, I don't have any pain anymore and my bones are healed. And he said, wait a minute. Let me go check the x-rays. He goes out and he's gone a minute and a half and he comes back in and he opens the door and he shouts, you're right. I can't believe it. Your bones are fusing together very well. What in the world are you doing after 7 years? And I said,
Yep.
I'm not doing any of the other things that all of you guys in white coats have recommended for me. I'm just wearing this patch. And I pointed back to, the top of my neck. And he said, what is that? And I said, that's X39. And he said, what in the world does that do? And I said, it reflects back your ultraviolet light, gets the GHK copper peptides working. It causes the stem cells to come back into activity. And I believe that because this is the only thing I've been doing now for the last several months, that's the reason why I've got a healed foot now.
Oh,
And
for sure. For sure. And X49, I mean, while we're here, because you have it up there, it is another patch that actually really does increase the bone healing. So this combination was very synergistic.
well,
Um,
well, yeah, that's right. And the nurse said immediately, gosh, I need that. And the doctor said, yes, you do, because you hurt your knee. You've done some stupid things while you're at the office. And you ought to get these patches. No, I've called her a couple of times. She said I want to do it, but she hasn't done it yet. And I'm going to just give her time and keep sprinkling videos on her a little bit, and let her see what it's all about.
yeah,
Because
imagine the number of people that a doctor could help.
yes,
Because really, David started the company with people in mind, and his bigger vision was to see people get relief.
well,
Uh,
Cynthia, what I found interesting about that room the day that the nurse, the doctor, and I were there, the person who asked all the questions was the doctor. He kept asking me about this, and he made that statement that it was this is like voodoo to me. It looks like, and I said, well, it's not voodoo, it's science. And I said, some of the things that you guys have done to me, I think is voodoo, uh, and I don't I don't want any part of that. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And he said, well, I have to admit, if it's working, you got to keep going. Now, I've had other things happen to me. I've had my wife tells me, she used to tell me, she said, honey, don't walk around in your shorts outside because your varicose veins are bulging and your legs don't look good. But it wasn't long after I'd been wearing the patches that she said, hey, your legs are smooth. And
Yeah,
I said,
we've heard a lot of varicose vein testimonials,
yeah.
for
And so
sure.
I guess it's going away. Now, the last thing I'll tell you that, and it's probably not the most important here. I think the bones that I'm seeing healed after 7 years that four doctors couldn't touch, couldn't make better through various devices, various medications. They gave me pain things to take. And what's interesting is I refused to take some of them, but they all got taken off the market because they're dangerous. And some people died apparently from it. I mean, that's their claim, not mine.
Yep.
Lawsuits, things like that. And I said, I no more of that. But I just wanted relief from the pain. It was so severe. But one of the things that happened at the end of this last year is I'm 76 years old. As my kids say, I played 4 years of university basketball, and that was back before fire was discovered. That's how old I am. So
You're funny.
I, I went. I'm on Medicare. I went to get spend my money to get my eyes tested as I do every year, and I've been going in, and they tell me the same thing. My eyes, I'm extremely farsighted. I need contacts. I'll always have this problem, and they'll probably get worse along the way. And you're usually sitting there looking at a chart for maybe 10 minutes or so, And they say, that's it. We got your prescription. Let's go forward. And it's the same or it's a little bit worse. Well, this last December, on the 16th or 17th, when I did this, I was in the chair for well over an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes. And I finally had to ask the doctor, is there something wrong? And they said, no, actually, we can't figure out what's going on because you don't need your prescription anymore like this. What
So
is
how
going
much had
on?
your prescription actually improved? Do you know?
Yes, I did. Well, it was by 2 points. I was so far up the tree. I'm way up the tree. My goal is to get without ever using glasses, but if God allows me to live to be 140, maybe I'll get to the point that I don't need glasses or contacts anymore. But I dropped from a 10, no, a 12 in my eyes down to a 10 on a prescription. And
Wow. So you've
and
had, just to summarize, because we do have another person coming, you've had your eyes, your varicose veins, your bones, your neuropathy. I would say that it was a winner, as they
yeah,
say.
it
Winner,
is.
winner, chicken dinner.
And so I get questions all the time. Well, when are you going to quit taking the patches? Because it's done so much for you. And I said, why would I quit? Because I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back
Right.
downhill anymore. I want to keep going and staying high in flight, like an airline, flying across the country and not have to touch down and get down and dirty. So I am so thankful for David Schmidt. I am so thankful for the people who cared enough about me to share this with me.
Oh, that is very
And
sweet, Dean.
and I love sharing it with other people now and watching their lives change, watching their pain go away. Sometimes they resist it. I don't know why, but they finally sometimes they'll break through and say, "My gosh, what was I waiting on?"
Yep, indeed.
I say, "I don't know. I don't know. You have to answer that." But here's what I'd do if I were you. I'd get on board as quick as you can, start taking patches, and see how
Yes.
God bless you.
Amen. Hallelujah. When you
I'm
said,
part of the greatest team in the world. It's called This Is It. And people care about me. I don't care who it is from the top, the very, very pinnacle of the pyramid, Steve, Gina, and others at the very tip top, down to the bottom. Anyone will help anyone on our team. And I love that. That's what
I
it
do
takes.
too. I
Yeah.
do too. Well, thank you very much for sharing and taking all your time. And we're going to have you back when a year from now, when you tell us other things start happening too.
Okay.
So thank
Thanks,
you so
Cynthia.
much, Dean.